only one can wear the undead crown of zombie comedy. Will it be the red, white, and blue of Zombieland, or the UK killers from Shaun of the Dead? One will be standing at the end of the video, but it may not be who you think. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome to another Cinema Showdown. As always, I am your host, Brett Murphy, and without further ado, let's hop right into things. It's an all-American, all-star cast of 4 versus the Cornetto Trilogy's dynamic duo. Although this was pre-Social Network and Easy A for both Jesse Eisenberg and Emma Stone, having their names along with the up-and-coming Abigail Breslin and the big gun Woody Harrelson attached to this project was more than enough to get audiences to the theaters back in 2009. As they progress further into the road trip and deeper into Zombieland, they form a bond with each other and the audience that is unbreakable. Considering the years and years we all begged for a sequel, it just showcases how excited we are to still see their adventures and what an impact they've really had on us. Shaun of the Dead, of course, stars the comedic powerhouse duo of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. And I would say even Liz does mesh with those two fairly well. But the rest of them feel almost offbeat, like they're not singing the same tune as those three. Where Shaun of the Dead does get a slight edge over Zombieland though, is that its more emotional moments hit a lot harder. But once again, all of this almost rides solely on Pegg and Frost. The rest of their cast is completely expendable, and no one would bat an eye if there was a change. While the cast of Zombieland is simply irreplaceable. Round 1 is going to go to Zombieland. Comedy is both of these films' main pull, but they both take a very different approach. So, which one got the job done better? Zombieland really does feel more like a kick-ass rockstar Murica kind of zombie killing movie. Everything is more over the top, violent, gory, and all done to the tune of a wicked heavy metal soundtrack.
Oh, I love this song.
It is in your face with tons of gross out humor. There are so many little moments that will surely get a chuckle out of you, and countless quotable moments. But just because it's more quotable, does that make it funnier? Shaun of the Dead is packed with very British humor. It's much more blunt and obvious. It is straight up a comedy, and that is this movie's main focus. It feels this way because they have done it 2 more times since the movie's release back in 2004. Those 2 times being the buddy cop comedy Hot Fuzz and the sci-fi romp The World's End. Comedy is where this trio shines. And this was the movie that kicked off a trilogy. Therefore, round 2 is going to go to Shaun of the Dead. Everyone knows the death of Bill Murray in Zombieland. It's one of the biggest laugh out loud moments in the entire movie. It caught me off guard. I was so excited to see Bill Murray because I love Bill Murray. Who doesn't? It kind of hooks you in thinking that he's going to be there with them for the rest of the movie, and then 2 seconds later he has a giant hole in his chest. It caught me off guard and had me in tears. And sometimes I really do wonder if Emma Stone was meant to crack up like it was in the script, or is that just her breaking character because of Bill Murray being Bill Murray?
I'm sorry, it just gets me. But it still is sad.
Another great moment, and possibly Jesse Eisenberg's shining moment in the movie, is his be a hero, rule-breaking moment. He's terrified of clowns, but he's in love with Wichita. What does he do? Well, he picks up the giant mallet, and it gets the hilarious, crunching, and no-squeak moment of bashing that clown's brains in. Again, so many moments to choose from, and this one, it's not really necessarily a scene, like a linear scene, because it's kind of cutting back and forth between a few scenes. But I'm just gonna say the moment when Tallahassee is just having fun, flinging himself around Pacific Playland, obliterating zombies left, right, and center, is probably the most fun in the entire movie. And you're completely sold by the fact that Tallahassee is enjoying this maybe a bit too much. Switch over to Shaun of the Dead, and the first time that they encounter the zombies is a shining moment. They think that Mary is just drunk, and that she's trying to get her drunken rocks off by hopping on top of Shaun.
No, I'm serious, I've just come out of a relationship. Do something! Wait there. Ed! 2 seconds.
These two fumbling around trying to handle this girl is pure gold. And then when the moment kicks in that they actually realize what's going on, the shock and horror on their face is priceless. This next moment though was completely gut-wrenching. When Shaun's mom, Barbara, finally bites the big one and David tries to put her down, Simon Pegg really does flex his acting muscles and not just his comedic ones. That moment is one of the most unforgettable in the entire movie. And lastly is just this movie's abrupt ending and quick wrap-up. It seems like all hope is lost, Shaun and Liz are ready to die. And then the military just walks in with a bunch of machine guns, blows all the zombies away, cut to the next day, and everything is fine. There's no zombie apocalypse, they just call it Z-Day. And then you see that Shaun is keeping a zombified Ed in his shed and just playing video games with him and teaching him to be normal again, or at least as normal as a zombie could be. Some movies have tried to replicate this and it ends horribly because you feel so cheated of a real genuine ending. But for this one, it pays off in spades. While Zombieland may have more quotable moments and a lot more awesome action sequences, the movie's mere 1 hour and 20-minute runtime makes it go at such a breakneck pace that it doesn't feel like it really has many specific memorable moments. Shaun of the Dead takes its time, and through perfect execution, gives us dozens of specific, iconic, and memorable moments. Round 3 is going to go to Shaun of the Dead. With all zombie movies comes the fun, exciting, brutal, and gore-filled zombie kills. So which one did it best? Zombieland goes full send in the zombie killing action department. Whether it's shotguns, fully automatic machine guns, baseball bats, hedge trimmers, banjos, Zombieland does not shy away whatsoever from its graphic violence. Practically the entire third act is just straight action, and the rest of the movie isn't much different, but that's exactly why we love it. Most of Shaun of the Dead's kills aren't quite so brutal. In fact, their zombies are actually quite easy to take down. And there's hardly any gore when it comes to the majority of the zombie kills. Where these zombies become more dangerous is in their larger groups. But the one time our heroes do encourage a large herd, they just do their best to blend in, act like a zombie, and try to make their way slowly through the herd. Versus their Zombieland counterparts, who would more than likely opt to mow them all down in a flurry of bullets. While both movies handle their zombie action in vastly differing ways, I'm going to have to go with the much more violent, gory, and chaotic action found in Zombieland. Therefore, the fourth round is going to go to Zombieland. Once again, these flicks' takes are a far cry from one another. Zombieland opted for the more modern and ferocious sprinting zombies, while Shaun of the Dead went for the more traditional, slow-moving, and incredibly dumb zombies. Zombieland's take is undeniably more frightening. Just like the #1 rule states, cardio is the most important thing in Z-Land, because these undead are Olympic sprinters without a pair of lungs. On top of that, they're actually kind of smart. They know how to climb and open doors. The costume design and the way they sound all come together perfectly to make these the most terrifying undead in the genre. Shaun of the Dead zombies are of course less frightening, as they often just look more like pale people with white glossy eyes. Okay, some may be missing limbs and have a bit of blood splatter on them, but again they just feel like drunk, mindless, pale idiots, moaning aloud and slowly shuffling their way across our screen. When it comes to the zombies, the ones found in Zombieland would send me into a fearful frenzy and have me running for my life. And for this round, I've got to go with fear over tradition. Therefore, the final round and the crown is going to go to Zombieland. If you like this battle and you'd like to see more in the future, be sure to drop a like. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. If you enjoyed that video, I'm sure you'll love this one.